is available. Toying with the idea of the Anivia and going for a very control-based composition here into Hanj and BRION. Gonna make it a bit tricky for Lucian with that short range. And it looks like they're gonna go Jace in response, but Yorick is still available.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Jace pickup here.
So Jace Aurora come through, and I presume it's just gonna be a Yorick for Doran.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a no-brainer. They are taking their time thinking about it. Let's see exactly what Doran does want to do here. And yeah, the Yorick just feels pretty comfy.
It feels like a very control-based composition for T1. They have so much CC they can throw out from the bot side of the map. They have terrain they can build with the Yorick and the Anivia. For Hanj and BRION, I think it's going to be tricky. Your goal is to get onto that backline and punish them, the immobile picks, but I feel like it's not going to be the easiest thing to do, as a lot of your champions are short range. It's only really that Jace Shock Blast that operates at a longer range, and I think that's going to be conditional on casting having a good laning phase when he's being countered.
Needs no introduction. You mentioned it already. They need help down there as well. We'll see where the Jarvan is going to go as we get on the Rift for Game 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift 4. Game number 2 of this series between Bro and T1. Oh, ward removed. Nicely done. The Bros ahead by, it's an infinity margin of CS ahead here for the Bros right now. That's perfect game pace.
Good. Perfect game pace, even in terms of farm. That's what I ended. It is interesting, Kay's not going for exhaust. We've seen more and more exhausts, specifically into the Lucian. I was wondering, because when we had Lucian, Nami, Zeri be a thing all the time, the way it developed was Lucian started going cleanse to cleanse the exhaust. I was wondering if we'd start to get that development, because, you know, if the enemy AD carry goes exhaust, you can cleanse it. Cleanse has good value anyway into things like Ashe Seraphine, but so far we aren't getting that.
Oh, cute little sidestep there from Teddy, who does barrier to avoid a lot of that poke and keeps his health bar pretty comfortable at this point. It's Keria that sacrificed a fair bit of his, as Pays trying to pick up this minion wave as best he can. Teddy taking these pot shots at Keria, but Pays getting himself into a good position to do damage back.
Yeah, it's difficult for Lucian with a short range, but you have that mobility. You can avoid skill shots and put down the pressure from your passive. Teddy doing a pretty good job of that so far, even though they are getting pushed in on a little bit of a back foot right now.
It's a very early teleport back from Faker. Goes back, grabs a control ward and a potion.
Yeah, that was super early.
And actually, I think he still had the potion. So just a control ward back.
Be interesting to track where he puts this down, where he makes use of it.
Casting, looking for the solo onto Doran. Gets him into the brush and takes him down. Okay, yep, this is a pretty good way to win the lane. Yeah.
That's it for sure. And we've often seen Jaces have a bit more early pressure in this matchup. Later on is when it becomes really troublesome. But we don't often get Jaces solo killing Yorick. No. So very impressive from casting there, finding the advantage. And if suddenly this top lane matchup is getting destabilized and ends up being a losing top lane matchup for T1, that does make things very difficult, because I talked about the short range of Hanj and BRION's composition. Jace is the exception. If he's getting fed, he will be a problem.
Yeah, not to mention their reaction to shock blasts that get champions into kill range is pretty instantaneous with an Aurora and a Jarvan. Not to mention even Teddy will be able to catch up with a Relentless Pursuit or something like that. The Bros have vision in this bottom lane.
It's level 3.
Oh, God. Okay, now I'm going. This kick is going to have to be extraordinary. As Keria picks up turret aggro. First, the kill goes over to Teddy. And now Oner is going to die to the turret as well. An absolute disaster. Namgung collects a red buff. And the Bros win everywhere.
So we saw in our last series, first series of the day, Genji against DNS, this level 3 bot lane dive from blue side was very effective in both of those games.
I would say so.
But a big condition of it was low health bars before the dive came through, which they did not have there. Now, in the top lane, we see level 3 hit by casting. He's already poked down Doran a bit, but getting that level 3 just means Doran doesn't have the tools to match him.
Man, that was beautifully done by casting. You can see still all business here. Pings out the flash.
And bot lane here, so they've been heal and barrier earlier, but the health bar's very thick. Good dodges away from Teddy, avoiding the route from the Seraphine and also dodging the wind becomes lightning, and then able to turn it around. So big influx of gold for the Hanjin BRION bot lane. Top lane's going well for them, bot lane's going well for them. It's a great start.
It really is. And Keria had flash that whole time. Decided not to use it. I think thought that he was just definitely dead regardless after that turret shot did come in. But very unfortunate here. And you mentioned already that Lucian Milio can win this lane.
Yep.
And they definitely can after what just happened.
Oh, yeah.
As Caulfields is now put together here for Teddy. But Namgung just got a whole lot tankier with that Kindle Gem done. And man, 1,000 gold, the lead here for the Bros in this early game. Obviously, doesn't really speak to how this game is going to conclude. But still, this is exactly the start that the Bros were looking for. And they kind of needed it, right? Especially in the top lane. You can see now that Doran has been able to even out the farm once again, but he is still down 400 gold. Serrated Dirk in the back pocket of casting. And will be moving up here to continue trying to win this one out.
Oh, no flash on Teddy. There's a long flank threatened here by Oner.
Okay, he's in a lot of trouble as Teddy just walking past Keria. Will he have the buttons available again in order to get this kill? The answer is probably not. Does have barrier, but Keria not going to quite be able to kill him just here as Namgung is trying to keep Oner busy for the moment. Beat drop comes in. Teddy in such a precarious position and is able to dash into the dragon pit and is going to die. Does have barrier and Keria is very close to dead. The dragon and the flag from the sky will take down Keria. Pays now trying to protect his jungler, but Gideon's moving over. Romer's down here as well, and he goes between worlds. And this world that he got to is looking like a pretty good one as he looks for the double, and there it is.
Beautiful follow-up from the mid-jungle of Hanjin BRION, able to turn around the play. And despite the fact Teddy goes down, the reward that they get for it is so worth it. 6 kills now to 2, 1,500 gold lead. And Roma getting 2 of those kills. The Dragon as well. It feels fantastic. So here, Hayes and Keria try and force them backwards. Not expecting Teddy just to dash in. And he goes for that because he's feeling confident with the advantage he has. Oner comes round here. And then I feel like what happens next is interesting because Namgun has flash. He can get away pretty comfortably. But Teddy dashes over the wall. And then in this situation, he autos the Dragon for the passive reset. Or maybe just thinking if the Dragon kills me, then the support gets the kill. But Keria flashes over. And Roma dies.
Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dive in the bot lane.
Yeah, we're going to look for it. Cataclysm comes down. Pays is very, very dead, but he does have the barrier to buy some time, and he kills Teddy! Oh, no! Just not enough damage here, and Gideon, he wants to throw a flag down, flashes out of the way, and he has the help from the Milio to survive. They try to salvage it, but a 1-for-1 is not what the Bros wanted.
Did not go as smoothly as they'd hope, and the fact that Roma dies in the mid lane as well doesn't feel great. We've also seen top lane, Doran feeling a lot more confident now that he has the Maiden to back him up. Obviously, Jace not really getting much power from his level 6. So just when you're starting to say positive things about Hanjin BRION, it gets turned around very quickly with all 3 lanes kind of in better states than they were a couple of minutes ago, 41.
Yeah, and I think Roma leaving the lane, obviously, you know, his namesake and all that sort of stuff, went down, picked up a double kill, but that was not the expectation for me after he gets back to the lane. Is just dying to fake it here.
Yeah, eating that stun was the big thing there.
Great wall.
Then follows him once he comes out of invisibility, punishing him for his lack of flash and ultimate in that situation. And we've seen the bot lane dive. So what ends up happening that's pretty bad is once Namgun flashes out, it's Teddy who ends up getting the aggro.
Yeah.
And he's kind of locked into trading his life for Pays there. And then here, a little bit precarious, but the shielding from Gideon and Namgun, it allows Gideon to walk his way out of the turret.
It almost, if Gideon was going to commit the flash to that play, probably it should have been him picking up the turret aggro, because then Cataclysm in, flag and drag out, and then it's likely that the Milio can actually pick up some aggro once again with a fire kick or something like that.
I feel like I'm never against Enchanter holding the aggro like at the side, because he can still assist from a difference, but the ideal is that Gideon gets it afterward.
Yeah.
Which is difficult to time, especially when Teddy was already getting low. He was just like, I just need to get this kill, not thinking about the aggro, and it did obviously backfire, but you can see what they were going for, but...
Yeah, maybe actually it's a little bit too precarious regardless, but
Yeah.
Still, the Bros failed the dive. They still have about 1,000 gold in the lead. Gideon is still very, very strong.
Our dive in bot lane is not being a very healthy endeavor in this game so far.
Yeah, they were probably watching the previous series. They're like, wow, it's just so easy. You just dive bot and then you win the game. Because that's kind of what happened.
Twice.
It's not the same in every single game. Even though it was in both of those games. It's very weird.
At least we know we weren't suffering from being stuck in like a time loop, because this game has gone very differently.
That is true. There are other outcomes that are possible. Keeping things a little bit interesting as Dorian, getting back towards his top side of the map, has recovered somewhat, but not in the gold department. All right, Gideon's down here again. Keria is likely to die. Cataclysm comes in, decent encore, but the culling comes on through, and that's the double for Teddy. Oh, that Crescent Guard was real nice out of Oner. Does manage to shut down the Lucian right after he picks up those kills. Looks like it's still going to be Bro with a bit of a lead, as the flag and drag will be able to get Gideon out of there, and the fire kick is enough to buy the space.
Oner was so close to, Gideon was so close to dying there, because Oner had the knock-up stacked up, and if he got in range of him, he could have actually interrupted the flag and drag and gotten a second kill there. Ends up being a favorable play for Hanji and BRION, though. I mean, you're coming bot lane when they have no flashes and you're a Jarvan. It's so easy. He even ults pays, so Keria gets trapped by the Cataclysm.
Yeah, really huge
spear there. Oner, though, goes for this aggressive play, finds the kill. And the moment I'm talking about is here, because he goes in, and it's 1 auto, 2 auto, and if that 3rd auto comes in like now...
Oh, yeah.
But he walked in the brush and he didn't have vision.
Yeah, and also he hits the wind, becomes lightning. The Audacious Charge had to come back up. He could have got over there, but the fire kick kept him out of even the extended range. So he couldn't get over, and Gideon gets to the turret.
Oner's super close to turning that into a 2-for-2 trade, which I think Hanji and BRION could be happy that didn't happen, but it obviously is a little bit worrying how quickly that could have gone pear-shaped. But they'll take the advantages they got.
Yep,
Teddy's scoreline
pear-shaped again.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Royal Air Force.
Of course. 3-4-4, not the prettiest scoreline for Teddy, but this Lucian able to get a good amount of gold and have that Essence Reaver completed.
Yeah, he's very, very frightening in this game. The gold lead has moved back towards the 1,000. It did tick down to about 600 for a few moments, but I think that was because Roma had yet to pick up a wave. That is now going to be claimed. Is Gideon moving down, looking for some immediate revenge onto Oner. As the Cataclysm comes in, Pays and Oner both put inside. The Crescent Guard really good for defending him, but Roma comes on down, misses the Q, finds a bit of extra damage, but has to flash away. And Faker with the flash Glacial Storm is able to get a whole bunch of flashes out of the Bros. Roma also likely to die very close, but no cigar, much like Graves anymore. And T1, they will have to back away. I feel like no one has any flashes anymore.
Does feel that way. Teddy is staying, by the way, and Keria has ultimate.
Yep, and he's also the only one with flash, as now Teddy is, not able to get out of that one. I'm not entirely sure what he thought was going to happen, but this is what we kind of thought was going to happen.
Yeah, 5th death for Teddy. Definitely feeling a little bit rough in this game, but I think you can just walk away and be happy you kept your life. Instead, sticks around, ends up paying for it here. The problem with this play is that now T1 have their flashes available. So Pays has his flash. Oner doesn't, but he's at Xin Zhao. He can just dash out and have the ultimate anyway. And so when Aroma's ult comes down, Pays flashes, he doesn't connect it. Everyone starts to get low, and this is when it gets really scary. So close to Roma going down in this situation. But the ult from Namgun does save him. And in this moment, Teddy could have just walked away. He could have been gone, they could have been out.
And he knew, he was watching all of them do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And
I think sometimes you have those games where you're focused heavily, you have a lot of deaths, and it's just hard to make the optimal decision because you're just kind of out of it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he is still 1,000 gold ahead. Like, he has a big lead in this game.
But he has 5 out of 6 of his team's deaths, which doesn't feel too good.
I mean, he's very close to 100% kill contribution and death contribution in this game.
He's just contributing.
He's contributing all over the place.
That is what he is doing for sure.
I'm impressed by it, and I respect it. Teddy, and I always will. As casting in Doran, I wonder when this matchup is going to turn around. As casting has gone for the first item, Ghostblade as well. It's not going for more of that tank buster variant or the tankier variant as well with the the Black Cleaver or anything like that.
I think
there's still a lot of lethality coming through from the Jace.
Casting's been playing it well. He obviously just have that lead. Doran still hasn't got his first item completed yet, which is a big spike for the Yorick. The expectation is the Yorick will get stronger in the matchup, but so far Casting holding on well.
Yep. As Namgo actually able to sidestep the volley for now as the culling comes through. Teddy going to get focused here by Oner, but Oner's also going to get focused by him, and down he will go. Faker from over the side, though, is just going to execute his former AD carry, and Roma gets over the wall to punish immediately. The egg goes down, though. Faker's still alive for the moment, and finally gets taken down, and Gideon with a gigantic knockup. Pay's taken out, Keria removed. The Bros can do no wrong in this game as Broma just does so much damage in the fight, and Gideon celebrates with a dragon.
I think Hanji and BRION are just accepting. Teddy is probably going to die, but we're going to make T1 pay for it, and they managed to get so many kills in return. Dragon as well going to be secured. Plates in the mid lane. Hanji and BRION in a great spot here.
This is the best engaged Lucian play I have seen for a really long time.
Yeah, the calling angle's a little off, but they put all this focus down onto the Xin Zhao. Big aspect of the front line removed, and then Casting TPs in. They get this damage on a Faker. Casting is pretty strong at this point, and they kind of just end up in this tight choke where the Flag and Drag gets maximum value.
Namgung then keeps him, like, puts him back up to half health. He was on like 2 health.
There was so much healing there. I think part of it was Triumph, Sundered Sky, the healing from Namgun with the Echoes of Helia. But it basically, he goes in for this crazy play that I'm sure Gideon could have died there and he would have been happy with it.
Yeah.
But the fact he lives is really the icing on the cake.
Beautifully done. Now the Bros double the kills of that of T1 in this game. A 3.3k gold lead. Another Cloud Soul. Man, it's still my birthday month. But it feels like I'm celebrating my birthday all over again, just a week and a half late.
I do think it's funny that we kind of talked about how focusing down Teddy, because he's been such a star player for Hanji and BRION, seems like a strong strategy. His score's 3, 6, and 6.
Yeah.
But Hanji and BRION are doing better than we've seen in a lot of situations, and now looking to contest this Rift Herald. TP from Roma to get on over.
Yep, Shelly just going to keep charging as there are ghouls still frustrating her. As Doran just going to catch this wave. It looks like the Bros now with positional advantage around the Rift Herald for the moment. Nice fire kick there onto Pays. I tell you what, Namgung having a really good game so far. And after that pike that, you know, did cost them a whole lot in the early game of game number 1, this is just an absolute turnaround for the guy. Looking very, very good on this Melio. As the Bros, they've started this one up. Gideon is somewhat low. But Teddy going typewriter mode. That Relentless Pursuit, very, very high value as he gets out of the way of the arrow. Only going to move on over, though, and now T1. Oh, they think they found him this time. He gets the 3-talon strike, and the flash has to be used from Gideon to get out of the way. Faker moving over. They couldn't get the wall in place. And Jarvan will live for the moment.
This should be Herald. I think just with Gideon low enough, he won't be able to move over. They're looking for Faker, though.
Yeah, Faker is going to take a fair bit of damage here as Roma gets a decent combo. And the healing from Keria going to be enough to get Faker back to a 3rd health. And he'll be all right. But Oner will be able to secure this Rift Herald. I don't think the Bros are going to be able to do anything about it with Gideon towards the bottom side and with no flash available. He was sitting on a huge shutdown. If they had have got that, that could have got T1 all the way back to almost even.
Yeah. Now, they're looking for Casting.
Oh, Namgung is going to find Oner moving over. So it looks like Casting is going to live for the moment.
And that's enough to scare them off. So good moves by Namgung to be there.
Hold on.
Now the Faker just...
Yeah, that turret is dead. He's still in the Cataclysm despite the flash. And now he's dead as well.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of phenomenal plays from Faker, but that one was definitely not one of his best.
We don't need to argue about whether to put that on the list.
Yes, absolutely. Faker with a bit of an unfortunate play into the bot lane that Hanji and BRION immediately punish. And the big factor is T1 were trying to make that topside play, and it gets shut down by a move from Namgun, and then Hanji and BRION making the bot side play, just extending their gold lead now.
And there are some big leads in this game as well. Gideon especially is so far ahead, and we mentioned how important he is. He then traps Faker in, the flash not enough to avoid the Cataclysm.
Yes, the thought process was, I mean, you just didn't expect Gideon to be there, but yeah, it did look a little bit silly when we scoped in on it.
Oh, Teddy once again throws out the culling. The arrow is going to go a weird direction there as Keria is almost just straight up dead.
Yeah, the arrows haven't been super hot so far this game. I mean, into Emilio.
Ice arrows.
Yeah, true. That is definitely a factor. You aren't Emilio, so it's not a big deal if it does connect, but right now they haven't been connecting so consistently. Could have at least stopped the culling a little bit early there. And we can see that the goal lead is really built up by Hanji BRION. 5,000 advantage.
Yeah, this is a real one. And my goodness, Roma does so much damage here. Still doesn't have his Shadow Flame completed. When that is done, my gosh. Yeah, he's going to be halving health bars all over the place, maybe even more. As Faker defending this very low turret, much like he tried to do in the bottom lane. As Namgung puts together his Mikhails as well. So 2 items complete. For Namgung, he is so incredibly powerful in this game as far as being able to defend his carries.
One thing with this lane assignment is Dragon's up in 35 seconds. Faker doesn't have TP. Casting doesn't either, but
Teddy going for it once again as the encore comes in. But look at this. There are a billion cleanses all over the place, and Teddy doesn't even have to summon a spell. As Oner, he goes in. I swear, they hit him with like 12 different CCs, and Teddy's like, and what?
Yep, has the Mikhails coming in from Namgung, and that's able to get him out. In fact, I don't think that it shows his ult is still up.
His ult is still up, so I guess he didn't have to use that.
I thought he used it.
It looked like there were like 20 different cleanses, but I guess maybe Mikhails is just that OP. And it does keep Teddy relatively safe. Dashes over the wall. And Rift Herald is going to come out here. Let's see whether they can interrupt Shelly from getting a bit of a charge here. Looks like that is not going to be the case, as down will go the Crystalline Overgrowth. And T1 looking to deny some soul point here as the arrow is... That's a stationary target. Can Gideon get here in time? If he does, that would be ridiculous. It's not going to be the soul going over or anything like that to the bros. No soul point for them.
Yeah,
T1 will just walk away with the Cloud Drake.
We'll be mid-tower going down, though. Not any way that T1 can defend that one. Will be picked up, but obviously slowing down their approach to that Dragon Soul is pretty big. Still 5,000 gold lead, a lot of gold across the board for Hanji BRION. And Teddy's gone for the rapid fire cannon this game instead of the Navori, so less ice skating, but the extended range obviously pretty valuable when playing into a composition like this.
Yep. You just kind of get the double tap into culling in mid lane, which is what he's been kind of looking for a lot of the time, and you can do that from a lot safer range away as, wait, the bros are doing the T1 Baron! Keria is going to spot this one out, sees Roma over here, and him and Gideon are going to have to leave. It was only the two of them.
I think it was pretty slow. Oner was nowhere near though, so that they potentially could have finished it, but it was going down pretty slowly. They don't want to overpress their hand, and they end up just backing away. It's hard to find windows to sneak a Baron against a team with an Ashe.
Or a team called T1.
That's also true. You know, the clock turns 20 minutes, and you know they're just thinking Baron, 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 so...
Yep. It's all that's on the mind. But it is still that 5,000 gold lead. The bros haven't been able to extend that any further. And I think playing around the next Drake is probably going to be a good one, as well as looking towards some of these Baron attempts for the bros. It's casting now with his 2 items completed. Got some Swifties on top of it. And still looking to chase down Doran here, holding onto that advantage. 2 items to 1. And there it is. It's just steps. You know, these are the bro steps towards winning.
Yep. Hoping to make a step up soon to the next one, but I think for now, just picking up waves as we lean towards that 3rd dragon.
Gideon with the most gold in the game. That is the team captain right there.
Yeah, and Oner the most gold on his team as well. Jungler's getting a lot of this income.
And that is maximum bounty on Gideon as well, 700. So 1,000 gold to anyone that's able to take him down.
Interesting. Everyone has a bounty on Hanji BRION apart from Teddy. I wonder why that is.
I wonder how many times Teddy's bounty has been claimed.
Yes, perhaps.
I feel like that number could be somewhat high. As Roma went down very, very low. Namgung is in a 1v1 with Faker. Teleport's coming in all over the place. A teleport from Doran is coming down at the same time. Shock Blast onto Oner there. So that was an odd series of events, but Namgung is going to be able to survive.
If he was playing Pyke last game, you could 100% see Pyke making that sort of play.
Oh, yeah.
The flanking Melio
he
with
really
the
is on
Mega
an adventure,
Fire Kick. Yeah, it's a wild one to attempt. That tower's pretty low.
It really is. Casting is also in a bit of a similar state.
You're wondering how low it is. It's that low.
Yeah. All right, this gold lead is falling away.
Yeah, and a lot of structures taken down. All the tier 1 towers gone from the game.
Oh, wait. 10 seconds. And I'm going to have to get a bit of an assessment as to where T1 are in this game.
You know, I think right now, T1 are on... Are they on Struggle Street?
I don't know.
Or are they on Difficult Drive? I think it's probably Difficult Drive.
I don't
not
think
quite
it's
struggle.
the Mellow Motorway.
No, definitely not. Not Mellow Motorway. But I think maybe Difficult Drive? At the moment, I think Difficult Drive. They got those two turrets, Difficult Drive, but edging onto...
the Struggle Street?
Onto Struggle Street, yes.
It's dangerous.
But this next fight in a minute, ample opportunity to get back to the Mellow Motorway.
And like, T1 are very, very good at doing a U-turn in a difficult driveway.
Oh, yeah.
They have done that many, many times before. We'll see whether they can do it again.
We've seen them seemingly drift into Mellow Motorway.
They have the turning circle of a tank, my friend. They just kind of spin. Okay, let's see whether they can spin it around, though. 40 seconds on the clock as far as that Drake we were talking about before is concerned. Still Soul Point up for grabs for the Bros. Doran just going to walk back towards the top lane, casting no teleport and is up there. Does need to start rotating down if they do want to contest vision around this objective. And Teddy, once again, looking like a target. He doesn't have the IE.
Yeah, and Gideon doesn't have the GA completed as well. Super close to that one. So some big items being missed out on by Hanji BRION. I will say, casting has his Serpent's Fang, which is good value here. Oh, yes, wow. It is.
Yep, that's a good purchase. 3 items on the Jace is scary. Teddy is in a Ghoulie wall and seems to like it. Having no issues there.
There's so much terrain building in this in this game.
Whoa, okay, the flash in from Roma. Faker taking so much damage. Cataclysm gets his flash and out goes Gideon. They keep it calm. But now 2 ultimates on cooldown. T1 move over towards the Drake. We're going to take this one down. These health bars looking pretty good on the Bros side, but Gideon flag and dragged away from the battle. There's the egg from Faker. The Crescent Guard from Oner comes on forward as Teddy gets a bunch of his health bar back, but there's a lot of cooldowns. Now missing. The Encore goes wide, but Roma is also just out of there. Casting is dealt with. Oner takes him down, and the Bros, I think they just witnessed the about face from T1 on the driveway. What is it? The disastrous driveway?
The difficult driveway.
Difficult driveway.
You know what? It makes me wonder, are T1 ever really on difficult driveway? Are they always
I think they live there.
I think they're always just on Mellow Motorway, and it doesn't really matter the state of the game. They've got payphone on the radio, and they're just cruising along.
I think they use the dangerous driveway in order to turn around. Like, they pull in, and then they'd go back the other way on the Mellow Motorway. I think that's what they were doing.
So they end up getting a lot of damage on a Faker, but they don't want to overcommit. They don't want to go too hard, but the problem is they keep getting zoned out by the likes of T1, so they're trying to approach here. Gideon's trying to play it safe. They get the egg, but just the egg. And then Oner engages, so you don't even get to capitalize on the egg being burned. So much damage comes out. The long range of T1's backline doing a lot of work, and Bro just end up running for the hills, all getting taken out. Well, not all of them, but the 2 frontliners.
Yeah. And
solo lanes, rather, getting taken down, and the rest have to just run. And now that gold lead down to 1,300.
It's completely gone, pretty much, as Gideon also doesn't have a bounty anymore, which is kind of crazy. 5-0-7. He did manage to hold that one pretty close to his chest. This gold lead for the Bros has been there all game long. Oh, no, wait, there's a tiny little blip.
And what's really sad now is we just had IE.
Oh, they did get the Drake, though.
That's something, but we just had IE completed, GA completed for Gideon. Storms...
Pays. He's in a lot of trouble. Does get healed up a bit here, but from Keria. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Namgung taking so much damage. Oner just hits him to death with the spears. Now Teddy trying to get out of the way, and audacious charges. Oner is just taking matters into his own hands. It's Doran that claims the kill onto the 80 carry. Finally, Gideon goes down this game as the hammer boot back onto Oner is going to do nothing at all, and casting is just collected. And the Bros just ran out of steam.
This setup from the Bros just not working out. Feels like T1 know exactly what they want to do and are so clean with executing on it.
It now like they had
the game.
It's like they had no idea in their mind that they could ever possibly lose. That is the way T1 are playing right now.
It just felt weird to see Namgun like flanking on the side in these situations. It feels like they're struggling to find an approach. T1 are not struggling.
Okay, Roma almost kills them. And then they're going to lose the game as T1 finish off the Nexus once again. An incredibly close game between these two teams.